Waka waka waka, what's up? Tonight, we're going to be doing an in-depth review and transformation of the Takaratomy MPG-09 Super Ginrai. Let's transform, head on, and take it to the table. And welcome back yet again for another FC Finch late to the party review. That's right, we got some new-ish product on the table. This guy's been out for about a month now, but this is my first entry into the arena of the Takara MPG line. There, I guess, masterpiece replacement, kinda, maybe, not really, I don't know. Either way, we are gonna take a look at this guy in depth today. Now, I already did an unboxing. I'll put a link in the description down below if you want to check that out. That's where I went through all the accessories. I mean, I just a brief abridged version. You heard me screaming like a little schoolgirl and all that good stuff, getting all giddy over this thing. So if you want to check that out, again, click the link in the description. So I'm not going to go over the box. That is just kind of here for some posterity. I'm going to adjust the camera and we are going to get right into the figure. And let's talk about that MPG Ginrai. And straight away here, he is packed in his tractor truck mode, trailer and all. And I am all for that. I think all Transformers, I've said this before, I'll say it again, all Transformers should be packed in vehicle mode. Transformation is a rite of passage. Why deny yourself the element of surprise? But I digress. So a real quick backstory behind this figure. If you watch my unboxing, I did not have a G1 Optimus Prime as a child. I even said that during my Missing Link review. I did have a G1 Ginrai, or as he was called in the United States, Power Master Optimus Prime. So I had a Power Master Optimus Prime, got it for like my 4th birthday, and that was my Optimus Prime. So this is kind of a coming of age for me, just kind of seeing the full-on modern masterpiece iteration of this character, and I am all here for it. I am super excited. So let's get right into it. Let's relive my childhood. We'll start with the cab first. Don't worry, we'll get to the trailer in just a second. The cab is really well done. There's a lot of weight up here. There is some die-cast hinges within the cab, and of course, it feels kind of chilly up here. I think this assembly might be die-cast as well, but it is quite heavy. Just have a real solid, nice masterpiece level weight to it. I am all for that. Around the front, got some nice detailing, done in a very nice deep coat of red. You kind of got some very deep, clear blue plastic for the windshield and the side windows. Really does a good job of hiding any transformer bits in the cab. You got the nice, you have the windshield wipers very nicely decoed out here. They're molded in. You got some rivet detail molded in. Nice chrome for the front grille. Even got the kind of little, I guess this is a little Freightliner outset logo right here. You do have some nice silver paint for the headlights and a very nice silver paint for the front bumper. Nice yellow for the running lights up there. Coming around to the side, you got a little bit of paint for the striping. I use some red paint down here. This is where the paint kind of differs because you have paint, unpainted red plastic and then painted areas. This whole panel right here is blue incidentally, but it is painted over. You got some door detailing as well. Got the little door handle right here. A little bit more rivet detail. Not entirely clean, but not entirely unsightly. I'm kind of okay with it. You do some nice silver chrome for the stacks. They are very nicely detailed. I do quite like that. And if you come around to the back, you can see the little Ginrai chest poking through there. And for those that don't know, this is basically kind of a mix between trying to be vehicle realistic and also trying to be closer to the G1 toy, which again, this is basically how the G1 toy kind of looked. He has his arms back here. They were folded up a different way, and then his chest was, of course, back in there. The trailer bed is very nice and clean. You got some nice detailing for the hitch as well, which does look very, very good. You basically tell it's his legs under here. You do have the wheels done in silver. They are done in a very nice industrial look. I don't quite like the pin poking through here. I think it molds in well enough, though. Same thing for the front wheel. Very nice industrial kind of look. Painted silver. The tires are plastic and they do have some kind of tread detail on them. He does roll, incidentally, like a champ. Coming down to the bottom, you can see is basically his legs tucked in down there. We're talking about his legs more in robot mode, but I think it gives away the illusion well enough. I think, again, from what this this looks like it does look very animation and toy accurate, which I think is exactly what they were going for. Let's talk about the trailer really quick, and it is done very, very nicely. I mean, again, Ginrai's trailer was never anything elegant. It was basically just a Ginrai body all tucked away. You can see the arms kind of sticking out on top. It was like a modified Optimus Prime trailer. You got kind of almost kind of a metallic gray on top, but this is just, it looks like just plastic. Oh, this is nicely textured, very similar to the G1 toy. You do get some kind of swirled plastic up here, which I kind of always take as homage to the G1 toy. Nice blue for the little assembly up here, and it has got some, it looks like it is painted silver, blue plastic up here coming on the sides. Again, more of that texture. You got the nice, I believe this is tempographed, but don't quote me on that. Autobot decal right here. This looks really, really good. The silver and the blue really does pop. You got kind of like the trailer door back end done very nicely. Got all the hinges detailed in. Wheels, of course, done in silver paint, looking industrial looking. Of course, the tires are the same treaded plastic. You get some suspension detailing under here instantly, which is really, really cool. Underneath, again, this is straight up G1 toy. It was never anything elegant. It was basically Ginrai's body tucked away. You can see the head right in there, but it is what it is. It does the illusion well enough. Instantly, he can pull the trailer. You got the little post right here, and you got the little port right here. Just plug it right in, and he tows that like a champ. He will roll just fine with it all together. You can see you got tons of degrees of movement to get all the turns and pass that CDL test like a boss. Incidentally, if you don't want him to tow the trailer, you do have a couple options here. So of course you can pull down these little feet right here, and these will just act as little stops. G1 toy didn't have those, but you can leave the trailer just like that, and of course you can come around to the back. His doors kind of open. I believe the G1 toy, if I recall, it did open all the way, but this one is just the two different sides. But you can kind of give the illusion is textured back here, but you really can't put anything back here nevertheless. And yeah, so there we go for the vehicle mode. We'll move on to his accessories next, and we're gonna be here a while because he comes with a crap ton. And just FYI, pretty much every accessory that he has is adaptable in all three modes. So let's just get right into it and spare ourselves any more time lost. He comes with a gun, a smaller rifle. He comes with two guns, one for each of you, and they are very nicely done. They're just cast in black plastic, but they got quite a lot of molded detail, and they got some barrel detail in there. Got a few silver pins in there to hold it all together. Done very nicely. Not painted or anything, but again, just cast nicely in black plastic. And of course, you can mount these in the vehicle mode one of two ways. We'll go with the cab first. So first thing you can do is you can just pull the handle up forward. It kind of snaps into place. You do have some ports on the back of the bed here, and you just plug it into the back of the bed just like that. Same thing for the other one, and you can just plug that back into the bed just like that. And there you go. You have that kind of looking out. But of course, what is every gun without some firepower? And you get two neat blast effects, and these are done really nice. They kind of painted a deeper orange down here, and then they trade up all the way to kind of orange tangerine-ish plastic, which does look really cool. It kind of gives the effect of the energy pulse from the gun, and of course those will plug into the ports on the guns just like that. And you can kind of make this, I guess you can kind of make it the a rocket truck effect, so you can go off into outer space. But nevertheless, he also does come with two bigger guns, one for each of you, and these are basically detailed the exact same as his smaller rifle. I forget what these are called. Hold on, I'm looking right at the back of the box. These are called his super conducting rifle, as if that wasn't cool enough. And these are mainly for the trailer, though I guess you could mount it on the back of the bed, but they do mount very similarly. You bring the trigger handle forward, and what you can do is you can just got these ports right on the trailer. You can just plug those in right like that. Same thing for the other one. You can plug that in right like that, and now they act as turrets. But of course, he is Super Ginrai. He needs super firepower. So what you can do is you can actually take the smaller guns. You can just fold the handle right down. You notice on these large guns you have a tab right up here, and on these guns you have a slot right in here. What you can do is you can just kind of plug these in right to the bottom of the barrel. Same thing for the other side. You can plug those in right to the bottom of the barrel. And yeah, so he could just be totally wiping out. I'm not even sure if they're against the Decepticons in Masterforce. Moving on, he does also come with 2 vertical cannons. These are just cast in a very metallic gray plastic. They have a lot of nice molded detail, but you can see on the bottom, waffling is evident, which I'm not big on for a Masterpiece figure, but nevertheless, and how these mount, you have some ports right here on the sides of his arms, or what will be his arms. You can just kind of plug those in if you so desire. The Blastovax do work in these ports as well, but you can only really fit 1 in each because, of course, they're so close together. But wait, there is more, because you get even more effects, and this is my favorite. He has these slushy type lightning effects. I have no idea. I have never seen Masterforce. So I have no context to the show, but these are cool, and they come with these little tab pieces. We'll talk about these in the robot mode, but you can take these off. And you'll notice he does have a port on the bottom here, and what you can do is you can plug it in again. You can plug it into any port on any gun, and same thing, we'll do the other one. And you can just take this, plug this port, and plug it into each side, and you could just have this. You could have him toting a whole trailer worth of pain and suffering. I mean, this is just too cool. It's so ridiculous, and I absolutely love it. And I'm okay with this weapon storage and vehicle mode because it doesn't look like a realistic vehicle to begin with. Next up, we are going to go over the one final little accessory, and of course it is little Ginrai. He's just this little piece right here, painted very nicely. You can see he's got the little face up there, got his visor, the arms painted red. You can see he's got the silver backpack. He is, of course, I believe he's the Power Master for Optimus Prime. That's what they got, the Power Master Optimus Prime, and he's got the legs done in black plastic. He got the little tab up here, and what you can do is you can kind of untransform Ginrai here. You can kind of just open these panels right here. Same thing for the other side. Just open these panels. And you're going to untab the cab. Just kind of untab it. It tabs in right up here. There you go. And you'll notice that right here you do have some little slots right here. And we can get Ginrai, and you can plug him into either side. We can just kind of plug him in just like that. Oh. Hold on. There we go. And you can kind of plug him in just like that, and you can just kind of lock everything back in. Make sure it locks in on either side. There we go. And he folded in these panels, and yeah, and there you go. You can see Ginrai driving the cab, which is pretty cool. And if you're like me, you'll probably forget that he's even in here if you store him like this. And yeah, that is pretty much finally it for all the accessories except for one more. So we'll talk about his final accessory. Some may say his most important accessory, and this is a more, I guess, articulated Ginrai that does have an actual transformation and use. So we'll talk about this guy real quick. And of course, you can see they painted in the little Autobot logo right here. That is really nice attention to detail. Only Takara could do something like that. Got the 2 little lights here. You got a little bit of blue in the chest. Does look really, really nice. Got the face even painted in. They're just, no, it kind of looks like a mouth expression, but I cannot tell. And then, of course, they have the arms done in plastic. Same thing with the legs, done in red plastic, and you got the black plastic down here. He does have kind of a Scuba Steve kind of look to him with the feet, kind of like the duckbill feet. As there's articulation, he does have the arms. They are in a ball joint, but they are limited. They only go out about that far, and of course you can make them go up. They can go all the way down, and basically it's just hindered by the backpack, which is done in silver, evidently, and it is made to look like a motor for reasons. The legs will get the arms out of the way, and of course the legs are the ball joint at the thigh. You can do a fusion kick, a mini fusion kick. You can't really do a fusion back kick, and you can do a fusion side kick. So 2 out of 3 fusion kicks ain't bad for this little dude. You do have a little bit of thigh swivel because ball joint things, and of course you have just over 90 at the knee knee, and you have a hinge at the foot. You can get a little bit of heel tilt, a whole crap ton of ankle tilt, or excuse me, toe tilt, excuse me. And yeah, so let's get this guy transforming up into his Power Master mode. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna bring the arms out. You wanna take the foot, and what you do is you're gonna fold the foot up and in, and then you're going to bring the leg up, and then you're gonna fold it out so the slot is on the side here. You see you got this tab right here, you got a slot right over here, and you're just gonna fold it in just like that. Same thing for the other side. You're gonna bring the leg up, you're gonna rotate it out so the slot's on the outside. You're gonna fold the toe in, slot into tab, or tab into slot, excuse me, and just hold up just like that, and then you can kind of bring the arms down, and yeah, you can see he becomes the little motor piece here. So you could give the tractor truck a nice hot rod and look. You'll notice you got these little tabs right on the side here, and what you're going to do is, this is spring loaded and it isn't entirely a solid connection. You got two tabs right on the side. You're just going to kind of push them, and you want to push on both legs, and it takes a little bit to get him so. Well, he's not wanting to set because the camera's on. There we go. And you could give Ginrai the total hot rodder look. So you can just pop wheelies with his trailer. And that is pretty much it for all the vehicle mode accessories. What a crap ton this guy comes with. And before we move on, we'll do a few final quick comparisons in vehicle mode. We'll get in our standard mode of comparison for Masterpiece, Mr. MP18 Streaks. You can see how he looks, and we'll just get him from the side, and you can see, again, definitely, I think this was the complaint a lot of people have, is that Streak definitely looks a lot bigger compared to Ginrai in his truck cab mode. We'll get Streak out of there because I think this is the one that Ginrai really belongs with. We'll get him in there with the Fans Hobby Junior Headmasters. We'll get him in there with Cab. We'll get him in there with Siren, and we'll get him in there with Minerva, so you can see how the entire team works. And this, you know what, scale be damned, this looks absolutely cool. I've never seen this show, but again, this looks like the home team right here, and I am all down for this. Can't wait to get these guys all displayed together. And that's pretty much it for our vehicle mode comparisons. All right, it is time to get Ginrai transforming up into his first alternate mode, and by Ginrai I mean the whole damn thing. That's right, this whole thing freaking transforms just like the G1 toy. So we are going to start with the trailer first, and incidentally, the trailer is going to be basically halfway going into the final robot mode anyway. So we're going to take Ginrai out of the picture because Ginrai in truck mode will have use in the for the trailer in the next mode. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the trailer, we're going to fold these panels back here, get them out of my face, and then what we're going to do is we're going to come to the side here, and we're just going to kind of, we have a little tab and slot connection up here. You can just see its tab goes to a slot right here. And now that's going to kind of free all this up. We're just going to kind of pull down. You got tabs all on the side here. We're just going to kind of come down and kind of pull this out. We're going to come back on this hinge here. Just bring this all the way back. Make sure this little piece clears. It should have enough clearance. We're just going to fold this all the way back just like this. And then we could fold this hinge over just like this. And then we'll fold this piece down just like that. And you got instantly you got a tab right here. It's going to go into this slot right here. It's a very loose tabbing connection. Next, this kind of operates on a double hinge right here. You're just going to bring it down and plug it in just like that. That should hold well enough. Next, what we want to do is we want to come to the arm, and we're just going to kind of bring the arm out on this hinge right here. And it just tabs in right with a slot here into a tab right here, and you're just going to kind of bring the arm up and out of the way straight up just like this, like a Superman pose. Next, what we want to do is you can actually kind of fold this in right here, just kind of fold it along the side of the hitch piece. And next we want to do, we just want to unplug this. It's a tab right into here, and this just incidentally tabs in right here. And you're just going to bring this out on this hinge right here, and you're just going to fold this all the way over, and you have a little slot right up here. It's going to go into a little slot right up here, so you're just going to bring that in, and you're going to fold that in and just kind of lock that in place just like that. And everything that you did on this side, you're going to be doing it all on this side. I'll do it off camera. We'll be right back. And now we have Super Trailer. Okay, so either way, what we're going to do real quick is we're going to come to the back here. And instantly, this piece will tab in. You do got some tabs right back here that go into slots on the back here. But it, again, once it loses any structure back here, it really just kind of flops around. So what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of bring this out on this hinge right here, just like that. And you notice you got this little hitch piece. I wonder what this is for. You're just going to take that and you're going to fold it all the way back over just like this. Then what we want to do is just kind of lift up on this hinge right over here, and you got this hinge right here. You're just going to take this and bring this all the way down and fold it down just like that. Next, what we're going to do is we are going to work on the what will be the feet, and what we want to do is you just kind of want to activate the ankle tilt. There we go, just like that, and that's going to kind of untab from a slot right here, and then you can kind of bring this down just like this, and then you can kind of fold the ankle tilt back in. Same thing for the other side. You're just going to activate. Oh, you don't really need to do. There we go. There we go. And there we go, just like that. Then you could kind of fold it down just like that. And then we want to make him do, first up, we want to open up these little side skirts right here. And we're going to make him do the splits, just like that. And now what I want to do is you just want to bring this kind of like a little bedpan under him. And what we're going to do is you're going to turn this around and you're just going to kind of untab. You just got two slots right in there that go to two tabs right here. And you're basically going to give him this whole seated position just like this. Then what we want to do is you are going to take this panel and you're going to untab it and fold this all over just like this. Bring it out just like that. And then you can kind of bring this ramp down. Same thing for the other side. Fold out this whole assembly over here. Just bring it all the way down just like that. And then fold this ramp down just like that. And we're not done. So what you got to do, this is a battle station, of course, is these are additional accessory pieces, incidentally, so you can just take these out. They just kind of plug in on these ports on the side. Make sure the arms are plugged in all the way. And what you can do is you're going to take the little vertical cannons, and they're going to be horizontal cannons. You got all these ports around here. You just plug them kind of in the middle. The instructions just kind of in for you. You should plug them in the middle and just plug it in on either side. And then, of course, you can take his mega cannons and you can kind of fold these in and plug them right into his arms over here just like that. Just plug it right into the other side, and like magic, there we have Ginrai's trailer in base mode. And let's talk about that base mode, albeit briefly, because like all base modes, I don't even think this appeared in the series. If you watched Masterforce, let me know in the comments if base mode actually appeared in the series, or if it was just a toy thing, like most base modes are just a toy thing. It's like, hey, why the hell not? I mean, you can essentially tell if you look straight from the back. I mean, it's basically Ginrai doing the splits, or Super Ginrai, the Super Ginrai body doing the splits, which is exactly what the G1 toy does, so I can appreciate the homage there. It does have some nice temperograph decals, though. You got a lot of nice molded detail right here for the little drive-in platform. You do got the Autobot symbol right there, looking very nice. Tons of molded detail all across the back here. Same thing, you got ports right here. Incidentally, you got ports. You don't have to plug. This is just the way the instructions suggest to plug these in. You could just make this thing a total flipping gun tank. You got ports all along the legs here to plug different various weapons in. You got some nice decals right down here. The ramps on either side have some nice molded detail. On either side, you get some nice kind of yellowish gold details going all the way down. I can't really fit a Masterpiece Transformer, but you can probably fit a Hot Wheels car in there if you so want. I think it's more just for the gimmick, if anything else. And of course, you can make the they're on ports, so you can make the cannons rotate any which way you want. They can do the little defense thing, and of course, you can incorporate Ginrai in this. This little port right here is enough to fit the actual truck mode, so you can kind of just back him in there and have it like, I guess, kind of a repair bay or a loading bay. You can even kind of make this little piece come down and look like a crane arm, which is pretty cool. Again, like most space modes, not really much use for it, but just kind of adds to the playability and, of course, the homage to the G1 toy. But, of course, we can incorporate Ginrai in his robot mode in this. And it is now time to get Ginrai transforming up into his robot mode. And this is, quite frankly, the the most complicated transformation you'll have to do in this set. So the first thing we want to do is we're going to take out the little Power Master because he's just going to get freaking annoying. He'll just pop right out anyway. So, and then what we're going to do is we're going to come back here to his little legs, and we're just going to kind of pull out on the little fit. Same thing right here. Pull out, and then what we could do is we could kind of unfold the little toes right here, just kind of unfold, and they just kind of unfold on this hinge right here. Same thing for the other side. Just kind of unfold these right here. And then what we want to do is we're just going to untab the feet. They just have like a little tab slot connection right here. You can kind of take these and fold them over just like this. Make everything look a bit more cohesive, make the hitch go away. And then what you want to do is you just want the legs kind of operate on this hinge here. What you can do is you can just kind of move this back, untab these wheels right here. They just kind of have a little tab slot connection into the little side, into the front hip guard here, and bring down the foot. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Just kind of bring this out, bring this down just like that. And the last thing we want to do is we just want to untab the knee from the top here. It's got a little tab slot connection. Same thing for the other side. Just untab that for his legs. And then we got his legs all done. We can move on up to the upper body. And now you see he's kind of looking like that dude from GoBot. So we're going to move on, and what we're going to do is we're going to, first we're going to open up his little panels right here, just like when we were adding in the little driver. Let's kind of open up these panels. Same thing for the other side. And then we're going to take the cab, we're going to untab it, and just tabs in right here, going into right here, and then you got two tab slots right here into tabs right here, and just kind of leave it out for now. Next, what we want to do is we want to take the little piece with the head, and we're going to rotate it around just like this, and then we can just kind of leave it back just like that. Next, what we want to do is we're going to start working on the arms, and you have this little portion right here. It's just 10 tabs into the back of the elbow. Just kind of bring that out. And then what we're going to do is you're going to be rotating outward on this hinge right here, and then you have the little hinge right here. You're going to be rotating in and down. So as you're rotating down, that's going to unlock this little slotted piece from a tab right in here, and then you can just kind of rotate outward, and then you just kind of, we're kind of working everything out. There we go. So now what we want to do is you have this little piece right here. You're just going to kind of lock it in, and that's going to basically make his little elbow area. And then you could bring the arm out, and then you have that panel that you just pulled out, and you're just going to take that and fold that in just like this. Next, we leave this out because what we have here is you have these little ab pieces hidden right in here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take this spudger, and we're going to kind of push down on this ab piece. You can kind of see what that did. Just kind of gave him a little bit more definition to his abs. And you have a little piece right in here that's just going to kind of push out just like this, and that's going to give him his little Ginrai abs, which is pretty neat. And next, what we're going to do is you have a little tab slot connection here. You're just going to kind of bring this together just like this, and tab it in like that. And then what you want to do is you want to fold out the little stack right here. And lastly, we're going to give him his hands. We're just going to take this little hinge piece, fold it up right here, bring out his hand, and then we're going to fold this back in. It just tabs in right here. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. I'll do it off camera. We'll be right back. So now we have him looking like this, albeit a bit discombobulated. And what we're going to do is similarly to putting the cab back in vehicle mode, we're just going to kind of bring the head down just a little bit to make sure it catches on this tab right here. And then we're going to make sure these little elbows are straight. And we're just going to kind of fold the cab right back in on here. And just make sure that it tabs in the sides right here. And of course into the back of the head. There we go. And then what we want to do is we can bring forward the little ab crunch real quick and just kind of rotate the legs all the way around. Make sure that the center piece of his hip skirts is pushed all the way in. And like magic, there we have Ginrai in robot mode. So let's talk about Mr. Ginrai. We'll get in close on the head. You can see it's got that classic Optimus Prime head sculpt. This is exactly why this guy will always be Optimus Prime or some variation in my eyes. The helmet is cast in a nice deep blue. It does look very good for being unpainted. And then, of course, you have that nice sky blue paint for the eyes, looking really nice and alive. Then you got the silver for the mast area, and you got silver for his crest with a few ridges up there. Nice clean all across the shoulders. Moving on to the chest, nice clear blue plastic for his truck packs. And you can see he's kind of got what looks like it should be a matrix chamber in there, but this guy doesn't have a matrix because he's not technically Optimus Prime. But either way, just kind of nice little, not sure whether that was intended, but either way, we got some nice chrome plastic for the faux grill right here. You do got the nice little abs. I do like the way that these kind of come out. Incidentally, I do want to talk, this was kind of an area of the Ginrai robot that I was worried about, just worried that this would be like some kind of open area. And you know, if you know anything about my masterpieces, I hate having open areas, but it closes off pretty nicely. I can't see anything over to the other side. Moving on to the arms, again, done in red plastic up on the upper arm, and then you do got some blue plastic on the forearm. Got the Autobot symbols decoed on each side because he is double the Prime. You got some painted silver venting detail. It looks really, really sharp. Moving on to his pelvic area, we'll admire his gentleman's area for a bit. He's got some nice yellow paint a la Optimus Prime style. You do have kind of the truck wheels for the hip skirts, which is really nice. And they got some nice silver paint on the upper thigh area. It looks really, really sharp. Just kind of a nice metallic glisten. Looks really good. And then you got mostly plastic for the lower legs. Got some nice venting detail though. Of course, kind of a cross between not Optimus Prime and Optimus Prime. Moving on to the back real quick. And you know what? This is apparently cartoon accurate. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but you know what? I will give it this. This is one of the cleanest backpacks you will probably ever see. I mean, look how flat it is for the most part. But yeah, again, not the most flattering in the world. I've never been a fan of this, but it is what it is. And of course, we all know that this is not why you buy this robot. We'll talk about his articulation next. And of course, the head can move all the way up on a hinge. Look at how far he looks up. He can go all the way around very smoothly, I might add. The arm, you can bring it out on a ratcheted hinge just like this, but then you got this hinge right here, and you can go all the way up for a headstand, bring it back down. You can go all the way around on a friction. And of course, you have a very nice butterfly joint. You do have a slightly tight bicep swivel. Mine's a bit tight on this copy, and you can get up at the elbow for a full-on, yeah! Bring it back down. You do have a full-on wrist swivel, moves very nicely, and then of course a single pin hinge for all 4 fingers. Just kind of Carbot-esque, like move the arms out to the side for a beautiful ab cruncher. Look at how the spine detailing kind of gets back here. It looks really, really nice. Bring it back down, you get a very nice waist swivel. Moves incredibly nice. We'll get the hip skirts out of the way, and watch out, the wheels do like to retab in on one of them. We'll get these out of the way because they can give you a nice fusion kick. And how this works is you do have this piece right here that kind of moves up and down independently of the leg, and then the leg is on a separate hinge. Bring it all the way back for a fusion back kick. It's a little bit high, and then you bring it out to the side for a fusion high kick for the triple threat of fusion kicks. Back down, you do have a slightly tight thigh swivel on my copy. Bring it forward because you can get a full-on bend to get you right in the nuts just like Ginrai can. And then you bring it back down. You got some heel tilt for days, a little bit of toe tilt, actually full-on toe tilt if you use the transformation joint, and you get a little bit of ankle tilt, and that is just some impressive articulation on this little guy. We'll talk about his accessories next, and there is nothing new to go over in this mode. He still gets 2 guns, 1 for each of his smaller rifles, and we'll just look at one for now. They do have the typical tabbing in slots kind of method, and you got a slot here in the hand, so we can just plug that in there. These tabs are not the best. In fact, sometimes I've had the gun kind of fall out of the hand, but for now they seem to be working. And then of course you could also make him shoot force lightning from his hands like Emperor Palpatine. He does have these slushy lightning effects that we previously used. Now we got the little base on there. You can see the base does have a tab as well, and that of course will fit fit right into his hand. These, of course, also don't like to tab in all the best, but you can either have him shooting or firing off force lightning if you so desire, or if you want, you could have the guns firing off the force lightning. The blast effects will also be usable here as well if you want, so he can get you either way. You can, of course, put the Power Master in on his back, though sometimes it does like to pop out when posing. And again, so you can just kind of, I'm not sure if he ever needed this in robot mode. Again, I know nothing of the context, and you can see the tab has already failed. Incidentally, this gives us time to kind of look at the bigger guns for the Super Ginrai mode. And yes, the tabs are the same size, at least I think they are. But when I try to plug it in, it won't stay. It's not the greatest connection, so I just don't know. It kind of works. I mean, so if you want to do that, you certainly can. As far as storing it on the robot mode, that is what the trailer is for. And incidentally, let's get the trailer mode in here so you can kind of see how he looks next to his base mode trailer. And of course, if you want, you can kind of put him, I guess you can put him back here and make this up. Ginrai, just the little Ginrai just popped. You can kind of put him back there if you so desire, make it look like a gun outpost. But yeah, so that is pretty much it for his accessories. Again, nothing really new, just a cool different way to use a couple of them. And before we move on, we'll do a few quick comparisons with Ginrai himself here. We'll get him here with his G1 alter ego, the original Optimus Prime, Mr. MP44. So you can see how they look together. And I believe that this is the discrepancy that a lot of collectors are having. A lot of people thinking that Ginrai should be at least as tall, if not a bit taller, than the Optimus mold from Takara. And of course, he is not. He is about roughly 7.5 inches to the tip of his horns right here, which is about the size of a Takara Carbot. But of course, Ginrai is not from Optimus's universe. He is from the Masterforce. So let's get our Fans Hobby Masterforce team in here. We'll get Mr. Ace Hitter, Miss Athena, and then of course Mr. Cap, so you can see how the team looks together. And actually, you know, I've never seen this series, but these guys look pretty good together. And from the screenshots I've seen, this scale actually works. And for my display, quite frankly, this is the only people I'm going to display him with. So this honestly works for me. But there we go for a few comparisons. So it is time to proceed to Act 3 of this review, the final act. And we are going to do the Gattai thing, which is exactly what this new era of Masterpiece is meant to do. So we're going to start off by kicking Mr. Ginrai out of the Super Ginrai Club. We're just going to focus on the trailer in this first part of the transformation. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the repair bay. We're just going to kind of fold it up, and it just kind of tabs right back in. You got 2 slots down here. It's just going to tab right in here. Bring this back up, and then as we lift them up, you can lift this piece up, and you're just going to bring it in on this hinge system. You're just going to bring it all the way back just like this. Next up, what you want to do is you want to take the hitch piece, just kind of bring it all the way up, and you just kind of want to bring it all the way back. You're going to use these 2 tabs right here. They're going to go into these slots right here, and just bring that. There we go, and that should lock everything in just like that. Next, what we want to do is we're going to work on the legs. So we're going to fold this panel in, and just like before, we're going to bring this back over, and you got 2 tabs right here. They're just going to slot in right here. So bring these over just like this and just kind of slot them in. There we go. And it's going to be the same thing on the other side. So just fold in your ramps, bring this over, and then you can just tab these into the legs. Then what we can do is we can bring down the legs and fold down the side skirts. Just kind of move up these panels right here. And we will move up. So we'll finish off the upper body of the trailer. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take this head component, just kind of bring this up, just get this out of the way for now, leave it all the way up. Then we'll move on to the arm. So let's just bring down the arm. And what you're gonna do is you have a little panel under here. You're gonna open it, you can see it's got a little tab, and then you can open up the top of the forearm, and then you're just going to fold out the hand just like this. You're going to bring this panel up, it'll tab into the bottom, and then you got 2 nubs right here that will lock in to the forearm. Then you can bring the arm down all the way, and what you want to do is you just want to rotate at the bicep, and it's going to be the same thing on this arm. I'll do it off camera, and we will finish this up. And we are on the final home stretch of this transformation combination of ours, but we are done with the trailer portion, so we're going to work on Ginrai a bit. And yeah, 90% of his transformation for this is putting him back into truck mode. Now I'm going to save myself some time in the review, but if you want to see that reverse transformation, let me know. I'll do a separate video for that. But that being said, let's get down to it. We're going to fold out the stacks right here, and you want these tabs kind of pointing in back. Those are going to go into some slots in the lower legs right here. Then what we're going to do is, I always find it best to split the lower legs, and I'm just going to fold in the hitch just like that. And then what you want to do is you want to make sure that it stays tabbed in on the upper thigh up here. What you want to do is you want to untab at the knee, and then you're just going to bring the leg up, and you're just going to tap it in just like that. And this is how you kind of want the knee joint looking. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Untab, make sure this stays tabbed in up here, and then fold back the lower leg just like that. You want everything looking rather even. And what we're going to do is we're going to combine them together. So you notice that you have a little arch cut out right here. That's for the smokestack. You have a little tab slot right here. That's going to go for right here. Then you have another little arch cut out. That's for the hinge right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to insert Ginrai in the top and just push all the way down just like that. And then what we want to do is we're going to bring the head down. You want this little slotted area going right in between his legs right here, and then we could push his head down nice and secure. And well, finishing touches for this, of course, are his power master, and we're going to plug him in. I've never seen the show. I don't know the context, so I'm assuming he needs the power master for the whole combination to work. So we're just going to put it there anyway because he looks cooler. And there we go. Like a supercharger, we have MPG-09 in his final combined form, or as I know him, Power Master Optimus Prime. And let's talk about that Super Ginrai. And straight away, he looks awesome. Just the overall posture of this guy is something to admire. We're getting close on the head sculpt, and it just looks like a badass version of Optimus Prime. The helmet molded in deep blue plastic, got some molded detail on the side. The horns looking very cool. Come around the top, has some paint for the upper crest on here. Got a few ridge details, and then the mask. This guy just had like reeks of Nemesis Prime face sculpt. He's got the resting bitch face there. Silver paint for the face mask. Then he got the very nicely done baby blue eyes, looking very good. Come around to the torso area, and you can see it's basically all of the truck mode, save for the Power Master in there. That nice clear blue plastic on the windshield, all kind of covering up anything on the inside. And then of course you do have these are stickers that you could apply. I actually did, these are the only two stickers I did apply, just to divvy up from some of the red on the chest. Otherwise it looks really good. You got a little bit of blue detailing right down here, some molded detail on the pelvis too. We're gonna admire his gentleman's area for a bit. He's got some blue paint, some red paint in there over white plastic. Does look very good. The arms, you can see the Autobot symbols done in black outline, just kind of graphic on there, looking really good. It's all I believe red plastic for the arms. You do get a little bit of variation at the elbows. Then of course you have the knuckle done in blue on the hands. These are the show accurate hands, and we're going to go over these a little bit later. And you got red for the fingers. Bring the arm up just so you can see this trunk. Just check this trunk out. I mean, it's for as big as it is, there's no gaps at all. We'll bring that down, that's for later. No gaps at all. A few screws hidden away here, but that is about it. Cut back down, we'll go into the legs, done in a beautiful silver paint at the thighs, looking really good. You got some molded detail here. Come around to the shins. Again, you got some molded detail at the shins, got some venting detail at the feet. And if we look on the inside, no gaps or anything, just all straight up nice and blocky goodness. You do have some silver paint over molded detail on the inside, which is really nice attention to detail. You're never going to notice this. You can see the inside of the trailer on the lower shin. You do have some venting detail here, a little bit of waffles, which is somewhat disappointing, but not too terrible. And then of course if we come to the back, I mean, you can see it's a very blocky backpack, but it's also a very cartoon accurate backpack, as I understand. And of course, more importantly, a G1 toy accurate backpack. And of course you can see no gaps on this guy, even the lower feet. Again, he's done very well. They've done a good job with screw mitigation. Only a few screws back here in the back of the shoulder, but everything else looks very clean, very nicely done figure. We'll talk about his articulation next, and just you wait, this guy may be big, but he's got a ton of tricks. The head can swivel all the way around if you want it to. You can look up on a hinge just a little bit. You can look down all the slightest. Move the arm and you can move it at the shoulder. Oh, the big beefy ratchet. If you open up this panel right here, you got some outside movement. And then of course you could activate this hinge here and get almost all the way up. Look at that. Bring it back down. Then of course you do have a butterfly joint. Bicep swivel moves very nicely, I might add. He will get you just above 90 at the elbow for almost a yeah. Gets you some nice wrist swivel. The thumb is on a single base hinge, and then of course you have the fingers on a base hinge at the knuckle and a secondary hinge. The 3 fingers are attached to one another, but they are very nice moving hands. I will give them that. Move the arms out because he does have a very nice clickety clackety ratchet for an waist swivel. You can get an ab crunch, look at that. And then of course he does have hip skirts. You can move it out of the side, move it out at the front, and you can bring the leg up for a fusion kick on a clickety clackety ratchet. Bring it all just about almost all the way back, and that's as far as they'll get you, so just under halfway. And bring it out to the side on a clickety clackety ratchet. You lost a power master off, and you can get you 2.5 out of 3 fusion kicks. We'll give it to him. Bring it down. He's got a slightly tight thigh swivel, and if you bring the leg up, you can get over 90 at the knee to get you right in the nuts. You even got some detail in here, some kind of piston detail that looks really, really good. Bring it back down, and then of course you do have some toe tilt for days. You got some heel tilt for days, and then of course you do have some ankle tilt, about a click or 2 down there, and that is pretty much it for his articulation. We'll talk about his accessories in this mode next, and some of these you know, some of them you're meeting for the first time. We'll talk about his super conductor rifles first. He's got 2 of them, 1 for each of you. And of course, he does have the standard tabs in the handle, excuse me, and you do have these slots in the hand right here. And what you can do is you can just plug this into his hand slot, and he will hold that just fine. But what if you just want to store the gun? Well, you have options for that too. You can fold in the handle. You got this post port right here, and you just turn him around, and you can see on his back side he has 4 port connections. You can just shove it into one of them, and that is honestly good weapon storage. Kind of gives a little bit of an extra payload. Speaking of payloads, you can also make him shoot force lightning from his hand, similarly to Ginrai, and you got the little tab connection right here, and you're just going to use the slot in the hand. Ooh. Work with me. There we go. And so we can use the force if you so desire, or you can use less elegant means, as Obi-Wan would say. But of course, that's not all for a payload. You can use his Ginrai guns, and how you use these is you're just going to fold in the handle, get your post port connection, and you can see you have 2 ports right up here, and you can just plug this right into the top. Same thing for the other one. You can kind of give him an extra payload cannon, and then you got some additional turrets right on here. But that is not all, because what you can do is you can take off these optional pieces on here that are shoulder guards. I believe these are the cartoon accurate guards. You can unfold these. You see you got a post port connection right in there, and you do have your little vertical cannons that are coming back. You got the port right here, and you could plug these onto his shoulder, or alternatively, you see you got a port on his wrist right here. So if you want, you can take the other vertical cannon and make it a horizontal cannon by giving him a wrist launcher, which is really cool. And of course, all of the blast effects will work on all these components, which is really nice thinking. Just tons of playability, tons of displayability with this guy as far as the weapons go. But we're not done with the accessories. No, sir. This is Takara we're talking about. They love to spoil us in this department. They love it. This guy is Super Ginrai, so of course he's got to fly because he's so super. So that's why Takara gave us this flight stand done in clear plastic, and you can see on the bottom it has a hexagonal port, and that is just for any standard Takara flight stand. In this case, we're going to be using MP52s because MP52 is not using it right now. But I do want to address something on this guy. So he connects to this via 3 post ports on here, and you can see it's going to go into 3 post ports on the backside, and his buttocks. You can see that 2 of the ports are embedded inside him. So here's how this happened. How you want to do this is entirely user error, no fault of Takara. When you install this, you want to just line it up and just push straight in, and when you remove it, you want to pull straight out. You don't want to pull down, which is what I think happened. I think I just pulled straight down. I tried to force it out. I was impatient, and that is 100% my bad. So you just want to pull straight out, but nevertheless, this will still work with only 1 port. So what you want to do is we're going to plug this in to the flight stand first. I'm gonna get it plugged in because you do got to use a little bit of oomph, just like that, and then we're going to install him on the flight stand, and there we go. And yeah, so you can totally get some flight poses out of this guy, which is really cool. Again, just another cool option that adds to the playability and a bunch of cool badass flight poses. So I am all for this. And last but not least, he does have a few new accessories in the form of a dress-up kit, because who doesn't like playing dress up with Transformers? You get a few alternate heads with this guy. So of course you get this different alternate head. It has a bit more of a boat front end for the mask, and the blue eyes, they look a bit more accentuated. There's also some different ridges on the crest. Not sure what this is representative of. I kind of like the stock mask better nevertheless. And then of course you get another helmet in the form of the toy head. You can see it's got the red eyes, and the toy did have red eyes for the Super Ginrai. You got the same silver paint for the face, same kind of crest paint. Actually, I think for the most part the head is still the same sculpt wise. And then of course what you want to do is you're just going to pull forward on the head. You're going to slide off. You see these 2 little rail inserts right here, and you have the new head, and you see you got these little rails on the inside the back, and you're just going to pop that in and slide that in. You get the same articulation as you would with the stock head. Comes on very nicely. And of course you do also get these alternate toy hands, which are done in all blue, and I actually do really like these. They got the same articulation as the base hands, but of course they're just done in blue plastic, which I think is much better. And how you change these out is you're going to take his hand right here, you're going to open up the little hatch, and you're just going to pull out on the hand. You can see you got 2 little rails right in here, and how you want to do this is you just want to slide in the hand, and you just kind of like get it started, slid in until you match up the rails, and then you just push it in all the way. You can close up the hand just like that. We'll do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to open this up, you're going to pull out on the hand, and then you take the new hand and you're just going to push it in just like this, and oh, there we go, push down, and there we go. And there you got Super Ginrai with his toy look. I'd probably just use the hands from this set, but it's nice to know that you can make it look like the G1 toy, which is oh so close to my heart. And we are finally done with this guy's accessories. And we'll finish up with a few combined mode comparisons. So of course we'll get him in there with his alter ego, Mr. MP44, and you can see how they look together. And yeah, now the MPG is taller than MP44 by just a little bit, but I believe this is still the discrepancy a lot of people have. And if you want a scale measurement for the MPG, he is now roughly about 11 inches or so to the tip top of his horns. But of course the MPG saying, can you combine with your trailer? No. We'll get MP44 off the table, and of course I think this is the one that really matters. We'll get him in there with Cab, we'll get him in there with Athena, and we'll get him in there with Go Shooter or Ace Hitter, so you can see how he looks with the kids. And quite frankly, for me, this works out just perfectly, especially the way I intend to display this. I'm quite happy with this scale. It works perfectly in my head canon. I'm not really going to display them with any other G1s, so I am quite happy with this, and this team looks great together. And that's going to be pretty much it for our comparisons. And let's sum it up for the Takaratomy MPG-09 Super Ginrai. And super is the operative term for this guy. This is my first entry into the MPG segment, and I'm absolutely blown away with this guy. The articulation is absolutely amazing. He's got loads loads of accessories for loads of playability and displayability. Just tons of options upon options here. The truck mode looks awesome. It's a battle wagon of destruction. The Ginrai mode is okay, probably the weakest link of this figure, and of course the Super Ginrai mode is absolutely badass. Transformation is just plain fun, easy to do, probably one of the easiest masterpieces you will ever have. I do hands down recommend this guy. I'll put a link in the description down below to Chosen Prime, which is where I picked mine up. You can get one of your own if you so desire. That said, I want to take some time and address the elephant in the room, because I understand there's a lot of controversy surrounding this guy, specifically with where he falls within the scale of everything, and of course the price point. So this figure, for those that don't know, this is just shy of about $300 here. And obviously the biggest qualm is that he doesn't scale with a lot of the modern masterpieces, which again, if you've seen one of my previous videos, scale is not really high on my list of preferences. That being said, I will say this from my own perspective. I can't tell you if this figure is worth it or not. It's worth it to me, but in this hobby, the value of a toy has a different meaning for all of us. So from my personal perspective, I do not regret one bit spending the money on this guy. He's absolutely all I could ever have hoped for in this figure. I don't even know who the character is. I'm just going off a childhood memory from having the toy, and this guy just checks all of the boxes. Absolutely happy that I picked him up. So you could take with that what you will. It is time to end, so you guys know what to do at this point. If you found this review fun and informative, let me know. Hit that like button down below. Also, if you are a fan of Transformers reviews, official or third party, we got some third party stuff coming up, and I do some mainline every once in a while when JJ lets me look at this stuff. Consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you so much to the almost 800 of you that already are. I greatly appreciate it. It does help me out. I have been FC Finch. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for making me a part of your collecting journey. Good night.